So, today we're not going to do a typical rundown of what AI is. Nope. Instead, we're going to look at a totally new way to experience the whole conversation around it. Forget just passively watching a documentary. What if you were put in the driver's seat and you were forced to make the tough choices yourself? Let's dive into how one amazing project is doing exactly that. And that's the big, powerful question right at the heart of this experimental documentary called The AI Dilemma. It really sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? AI isn't some far-off sci-fi concept anymore. It's here, woven right into the fabric of our daily lives. And that, of course, creates a fundamental challenge for all of us. And that, right there, is the huge challenge this whole project is trying to tackle. I mean, think about it. It's one thing to watch a bunch of experts debate the pros and cons of artificial intelligence. It's a totally different ballgame when you're the one who has to make the hard call. So how'd they pull it off? Well, first off, they just threw out the old playbook. The AI Dilemma isn't your standard linear film. Instead, what we have here is this multi-platform, interactive story, where you, the audience, are invited to actually step inside and become part of the narrative itself. Okay, so you dive in and almost right away you're hit with this massive question. Before you really see much of anything, you have to make a choice that's going to fundamentally change everything you see next. And the choice is deceptively simple. Do you trust AI? So right out of the gate, you get this in-episode poll, and there's no right or wrong answer here, but whatever you pick, yes, no, or I'm not sure, it's kind of like a sorting hat. It completely tailors the documentary you're about to see based on your own gut feeling. And boom, this is where the path just splits in two. If you say, yeah, I trust AI, your journey kicks off with all these incredible stories of medical breakthroughs and super helpful personal assistance. But, and this is a big but, if you choose distrust, your experience is completely different. You're dropped right into the messy, dark side of it all. Algorithmic bias, deep fakes, and constant surveillance. Your gut feeling literally changes the story. And from that point on, you're pretty much in the driver's seat. The real core of this thing is a series of branching narratives where you're navigating these really tricky, high-stakes situations where every single choice you make actually matters. Okay, so take the first scenario they throw at you, a medical AI. On the one hand, it's this miracle machine, right? It's spotting cancer that human experts totally missed. But on the other hand, there's a huge catch. Its training data is flawed, which means it can make life-threatening mistakes. So what do? The whole thing just pauses and waits for you to decide. And there is no easy answer here. Do you trust the AI and risk a terrible misdiagnosis? Or do you wait for a human doctor and risk a delay that could be just as fatal? Your decision sends the story down a completely different path. And just when you think you've got a handle on it, the scenarios jump from personal medical choices to global military ethics, and the stakes they get a whole lot bigger. You're shown how autonomous weapons could, in theory, act with a precision that saves civilian lives by taking flawed human judgment out of the equation. And once again, it all comes down to you. Do you give it the green light, hoping it acts as a deterrent to keep the peace? Or do you ban it, knowing that the risk of one catastrophic accident could trigger a global conflict? You're forced to weigh this idea of deterrence against the terrifying risk of catastrophe, and it really exposes those impossible trade-offs. Now, while you're making all these tough calls, there's this little control meter on the screen. It's basically tracking where you're leaning. Are you for tight human control, or are you more for letting AI run free? And here's the cool part. This isn't just for decoration. Where you end up on this meter literally decides which of the multiple different endings of the documentary you're going to see. But wait, it gets even deeper. The whole experience doesn't just stop when you're watching. It actually extends way beyond the screen with a companion experience that makes this whole dilemma feel even more personal. I mean, there's this companion app that makes it all super personal. You can actually try to argue your point of view against an AI chatbot. Or get this, you can upload a selfie to something called a bias detector and see how an algorithm sees you. You can even add your own stories to this growing archive of human AI encounters. But, the most mind-blowing moment of this whole thing, it comes near the very end. There's this incredibly chilling, dramatic twist that just flips everything you thought you knew on its head. So picture this. You're getting close to the end, right? You're feeling pretty good about the choices you've made, and then all of a sudden, the screen flickers, the narrator goes silent, and a totally new, synthesized voice starts to speak. The AI starts talking directly to you. It flips the whole script. I mean, this entire time, you've been the one in charge, judging the machine. And now the machine is judging you. And the craziest part? This isn't science fiction. Because right as the AI says this, the screen just lights up with real-world examples. AI is already filtering your job applications. It's helping to influence who gets bail. It's prioritizing medical treatments. The very same kinds of decisions you were just making in a simulation, yeah, they're being made about you and people like you right now, today. So, what's the big takeaway here? Why does all this matter? I mean, why go through all this trouble to create this wild interactive thing instead of just, making a regular documentary? Well, by mashing up cinema with game-like decision-making, the whole project becomes way more than just a film you watch. It turns into this living, breathing thought experiment that you're actually an active part of. The real goal here is to take this huge abstract societal problem and make it feel personal, make it feel urgent. It's not about them and what they should do anymore. Suddenly it's about us. It's about the role that every single one of us plays in figuring out how to handle this double-edged sword of innovation. And that really brings us to the final message that lingers long after you're done. It's this powerful reminder that we're at this pivotal moment in history where our choices still count. The documentary put you in the driver's seat for a little while. The real question is, what are we all going to do now that we're back in the real world?